Alright, my name is Lizzie. Sorry, anywhere but here. Just to give you guys some perspective as to how much I am, excited to listen to this album. 925, Sorry's debut, is my most listened to album on Spotify. Of all time. When I discovered these guys, around mid last year, I honestly just haven't stopped listening to them. I can't. They're so cool. And I love their deadpan vocals. I love the minimalism of it sometimes. And I love the atmosphere that these guys create in each one of their tracks. I adore these guys so much. I can't fathom it or put it into words how pumped I am to listen to this. But before we do get started, I've avoided every single song apart from There's So Many People That Want to Be Loved. But let's do it. Let's fucking do it, yes! Oh, I love these guys so much. And now I'm getting a Since You Be Gone vibe. Then again, I like those sort of disembodied guitar sounds. Yeah, it's just straightforward, good shit. That's good. Strong intro. Oh, this is kind of reminding me of Marching Band, which is from one of their demos. Life that split my heart into. Tell me how the sun I've got goosebumps. Tell me which way oh. I really like it. Oh yeah, I love that guitar. It's kind of a little bit, I don't know, is dissonant the right word? Oh, yes. Oh yeah! And it just finishes. Oh my god, wow, that's a tune. That's a fucking good song. You are the key to my city, to my city. I'm listening to loads of shit about the city. Jockstrap can't stop mentioning the fucking city. I take you to the city. Oh. You're getting fucked in someone else's bed. I have to say, we're about halfway through the track. It's least favourite so far. I'm finding it hard to connect with this one. But it is clearly very angsty and oh, I loved you. You're shagging someone else. In the city, in the city, in the city. Oh, okay. Yeah, I like that. Just that scoop down. Stunning. Okay, you know what? I'm getting into it.
Let's go, faint under the willow tree. The fuse blew the white light. It was a dud.
It was a dud. It was a dud. It was a dud. Was it a dud? Was it a dud? It was a dud.
So let's go.
I don't know. I'm just having fun. Oh, whispers.
She's under my
winky. I don't know. I can't describe it. It's a bit tongue-in-cheek, like wink wink. I don't know. That's the sort of vibe I got from it. It's like they were in on a joke that I'm not. Because this is the only song I've heard from the album, I expected this album to be a bit more traditional, like kind of poppy songs, and it was going to be Sorry kind of exploring that route. No, it's more dark so far. But now I got this one, which is really lovely. It does kind of have a darkness towards the end. The song's great though. Right, we're just going to chill. Listen.
See them in the nightclubs,
Barking up the walls, head in the hands in the bathroom stalls. The imagery and the lyrics in this is great.
There's so many people and it drives me insane.
This spacey feeling as well. Oh. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
There's so many people that just wanna be loved.
Violin.
There's so many
Ready? Oh, this is gorgeous. Oh. Stunning. Oh, beautiful.
jokes that I make are not tender and coarse. Tender and coarse.
I can't like verbalize it.
Please make it stop. I miss the
That
dreams.
guitar tone. Oh my days! This is how you know I'm enjoying this song. Oh yes. I'm assuming we're going to go back into the chorus after this. Or we'll have a break. Wow, okay. This progression here is quite cool. I don't know, there's still something kind of incomplete that I'm looking for in this track specifically. I'm really trying to get my thoughts on this. There's something that isn't pulling it together.
I still love you, whatever love me.
I still love you, whatever love me. That's quite nice, actually.
Closer to burning my thumb on this cigarette.
Cigarettes.
Closer to the clock. I never thought I would be that guy.
That's quite somber. Somber's a word, isn't it? Yeah, it is. I like it. I like the tone and vibe and atmosphere of it. And I like that little refrain. I never thought I'd be that guy. It's quite saddening. Wow, we're a bit punchy. Simple as it is, repetitive as it is, I think it works. Repetitive lyrics are very hit or miss for me. Wins. Oh, yes. hit your head on a rock in Baltimore.
I lost my child at that sea.
You lost your child. We'll see where it goes. It's not my favourite so far, but we've seen it. Sometimes it just changes, it flicks. Is that on the offbeat? I can't decide if I like it. I like that. Okay, got some dual guitars going on. Whoa. Oh, I can't wait for another listen. Okay, alright. I was gonna burp.
In this budget hotel, in this makeshift saloon, on this highway to hell.
Oh, these lyrics, man.
On this beach far away.
Wow. This is pretty. She like just dark. Yeah. Wow. Interesting short song. Are we going lovely acoustic right now?
Quit while you're ahead.
Hello. I'm trying to get into it. I can't get there.
In my head.
As nice as it is.
Tell me someone who knows.
They've got these cool flourishes. Sometimes it's not enough for me.
Tears stain on your somber frown.
Somber. See, the word somber is real.
Just follow through.
Okay, I'm into this.
I heard them
Goosebumps.
on
They just
TV
pricked up on my right arm.
Nothing's making sense.
Every move
Moody.
goes out. So I just
This is definitely a more lyric focused track. The atmosphere of it is very nice though.
up for coming down.
Like, not nice as in like positive, because it's clearly quite dark and depressing. But like, I mean nice as in I enjoy those kind of songs.
Nothing's making sense.
Screaming in the Rain. That's a great title. That's gonna go in my good title playlist. Along with Diarrhea, Welfare, Inferno, Burrito. Right, we got Again. Again, a fucking gear.
I've been breathing in and
Yeah, we're very depressed, aren't we?
talking over.
I don't know, 925 ended on a bit of a bummer as well, with Lies. Oh, build. Build it up, babies.
It was another hero there. It must have been a dream somewhere.
It's angsty. Troubled.
An aeroplane broke the sky. A ship shot
What's going on? So, future Lizzie, I've listened to this album quite a few times. I've listened to it a lot, but here are my thoughts on it now that I've had time to really digest the album. I'm going to do a quick dive into each of the tracks just to, you know, explain what I felt they had to offer, and then we'll do general thoughts on the whole album at the end. Right, Let the Lights On, our opener, is fantastic. It's a lovely burst of energy at the start, particularly with that constant bass throughout the track. Like, the only way I can describe the way it feels to me is it's like I'm running through a field in the rain with no cares, even though it feels like the entire world is on my back. But it feels so freeing to listen to. It's so much fun. And like I said during the video, repetitive lyrics for me are very hit or miss. I either love them or I don't, or I just ignore them. And with this, I really appreciate the repetitive lyrics. It feels like this uninhibited declaration of love lyrically, and it's great. Looking into the lyrics of this album has been so much fun as well, trying to understand each of the tracks and what they're trying to say. Yeah, Let the Lights On is probably the most overtly joyous song on this entire album, and I think that's probably for the best, considering, you know, how dark it gets. It's a nice contrast to have this at the start, and then, you know, we can go into all the heavy shit later. Next we have Tell Me, which begins with Louis' vocals, and it feels creepy and foreboding, and there's this moment where the vocals suddenly become clear, and it's like we've got this sudden clarity, and it's like all your fears have become realised at once. That's how I can describe it. And the I Didn't Know I Was Like This refrain has got this gorgeous darkness to it. And the rest of the track builds and builds into this unsettling, manic, scratchy guitars that it is so fun to listen to. This track, to me, it feels like this unsettling realization of one's character, sort of understanding that there's something inside you that isn't quite right, and looking outwardly at others and seeing that too. Really dark, but Sorry do great dark songs. I love it. Key to the City, this was one that in the first reaction I couldn't quite put my finger on until the end. Now it's great. I think it's brilliant. It's just pure like pity, self-wallowing and like longing, but it's also spiteful, especially when it goes into the if it's going to be I don't care sort of lyrics, and Asher's vocals become like kind of mocking and whiny, and it just feels like a fuck you, which I believe is what she said. Yeah, I saw this on Genius. Asher stated it's a tender fuck you at the dying moment of a relationship you don't want to end. And I felt that. It's really bitter and kind of resentful, but I love it. Willow Tree is a track that I can't tap into as much as some of the others here, but it is quite groovy, it's cheeky. Asher described this track as more of a lullaby, which I can certainly hear. It's got this pleasant movement to it and kind of boppiness that feels gentle in like a nice way. It's a good sort of burst of niceness, I guess. There's so many people that want to be loved. This feels like, in the best way possible, like the most ordinary love song. It feels as though it was written at the end of a lonely night out, or on the back of a bus, like during a dreary rainy morning. It is so real, and the imagery and the lyrics are fantastic. And the chorus, when it says, there's so many people and it drives me insane, and it's got that spacey, dizzying effect that like literally makes you feel like you're going insane as you realise that everyone around you is, you know, all searching for love in some way, for validation. The structure is solid, the way it builds, and then you've got that ending with that overwhelming guitar. Fucking love the track. I Miss the Fall, which has come to be my favourite track off the album. It's stunning. It's so dismal, miserable, and just it's so full of heartache, especially that riff. Like, if you go back and watch my reaction at this timestamp, watch my eyes light up as that riff starts playing. I instantly felt the pain and the brokenness of it. It feels so hopeless and tiny, but it hurts. And I adore the bridge where the tone of the track sort of changes. It feels like this glimmer of hope. in the midst of all this misery. And it reminds me of Snakes from 925, which is also my favourite track from 925. Because that track is also quite dark throughout its majority. And then it has the moment of kind of loveliness with the bridge, and then it goes back into the darkness. It's the same structure here, which obviously means I must just like that kind of shit. And then after the bridge, where it goes back into the tender and coarse refrain, but with the addition of being empty but free. Fuck! That's good shit. That's hurtful, man. So we got Step, which was a bit of a question mark for me after my first listen. I appreciate the instrumentation of it and the fact it kind of stops and starts. It's kind of staccato in a way, and it literally feels like a step being taken. And I do like what the song is trying to say, you know. It's obviously somebody trying to move on and not quite being able to. But it's not my favourite on this album. I think it's solid, but it doesn't sing to me like the rest of the tracks do. And I do think it's kind of odd, like the placement of it. Why is it between I Miss the Fall and Closer, which are like, I Miss the Fall is just depressing and Closer is really grungy and angsty. And you've got Step between it. It feels a bit odd to me. And usually structure of an album doesn't really faze me all that much, but it did here. But yeah, then we've got Closer, which I wrote down as angst central. It's got repetitive lyrics again. They don't feel particularly groundbreaking, but I think they're sold well within the tone of this track. It reminds me of Placebo at points, certain like guitar parts and tones, which I really appreciate because I love Placebo. And the climax at the end is gorgeous. I love the dropouts of the instruments and then just into that explosion of guitar. Just solid shit. Now Baltimore, which was definitely the biggest, like, do I like this song or not? It's now one of my favourite tracks. I love the contrast between the quieter verses with the really fucking dancey and boppy refrains that occupy the rest of the track. Like, it really gets to be quite groovy and fun, and again, you've got this burst of energy with all these like decorative spiky guitars. It is so lovely. I could just fucking pop my pussy to this shit. I think it's a great like moment to have before we go into the last section of the album. Hem of the Fray. This was shortest track, I believe. I really like it. It's again miserable as fuck with those lyrics that feel as though it feels like a chat with your inner saboteur. Like he's talking to you like nobody's coming for you, nobody's going to save you. And with shorter tracks, I tend to find that I search for what journey does it take me on in such a small amount of time. And I found that I really enjoyed the developments towards the end of the track with the sort of glitchiness coming in. Quit While You're Ahead, which is our acoustic treat of this album. The Heather of Anywhere But Here. This one is the weakest for me. I just can't appreciate it in a way that I want to, in a way that I wish I could. There's nice little decorations and touches throughout the song. It's just, it feels like there's no payoff for me. I don't leave the song feeling fulfilled. Like, it's a nice acoustic song. I just feel as though it doesn't have the payoff that I wanted in an album that is so emotive. Okay, so our penultimate track, Screaming in the Rain, it taps into these themes of alienation and loneliness and having this inability to figure out the world around you and make out all people's faces you see. There's a particular line in the track that says, I have lost the ability to understand, and that just feels like, you know, if you could pick one line to sum up the feeling of the song, I would pick that. And we've got Asher and Louis, you know, exchanging vocals and sharing them with such ease and gorgeousness. I love the both of them. I think they complement each other so well, and they've got this deadpan to them that feels so real to me. I can't like describe it. I don't even understand it, how I like almost connect so much with the way they deliver these lyrics. But yeah, Screaming in the Rain is just gloomy, miserable bliss. If that makes sense. And then we got Again, a Fucking Gain. We've got a gentle build into the track, which is nice. It feels hopeless and it's a bummer at the end of the album, but let's be real, I wouldn't have it any other way with Sorry. Asher described that this song feels like a shedding of the skin, and that's why they put it at the end of the album. And its one word chorus just being again is very broad, but you know, it has these links into like cycles, which, you know, goes into the cycle of life and what have you. It just feels like this hopeless acknowledgement that time is moving forward, irrespective of whether or not you are ready to move forward as well. That's a scary, you know, truth of life, is that the world will keep on turning even if you don't want it to, even if you wish you could just stop it and think, you can't. But yeah, it's a bleak closer to a pretty bleak LP, but it's great. I think this album, it taps into dependence on relationships as well as like the desperation to be loved, and it's contained within this wider story of looking at the planet that we're on and all the people that surround us and not quite being able to recognize how insignificant we are, I guess. Like, we're all familiar with this planet and yet it all still feels so alien at the same time. It's just a great, you know, examination of this album. I think it's brilliant. And because I've started using album of the year, I'm going to change my rating system to, instead of being out of 10, being out of 100. This album gets 85. I think it's incredibly strong. Just a few little, you know, tweaks here and there that kind of don't mesh with me as much, but still some really fucking good songs here. I'm very happy with what Sorry have produced. And yeah, I've been listening to it a lot and I will continue to. Fantastic. Stunning.